Once a year, the sun meets Jupiter in the sky, and this is what some astrologers like to call the luckiest day of the year. But luck isn't always what it is that we think it is, or at least what it's going to be. Sometimes our great luck is the limits that are placed on us or the disappointments. And that is the signature of this year's luckiest day of the year. It comes hand in hand with a new moon, and it's happening in the sign of Cancer. This is where Jupiter is especially strong, loves to be here, is able to bring forward its most optimistic, spiritual, open-hearted best. But it is that very approach that ultimately is what we need to see within ourselves. And it's not necessarily about the outcome. It is very possible with energy like this that we just might overestimate our abilities, go way too far, go overboard in some way. And that can be part of some sense of a container holding us back. But even that holding back is a part of the great twist of luck that could find us. Whatever takes place, even if it comes packaged as disappointment, that new moon suggests that there is a bold and empowering new beginning. And that in turn puts us on a pathway towards being able to manifest some really hopeful visions. Now, how the luckiest day of the year and the new moon energy speaks to you in your sign depends on your sun, moon, and rising signs. You want to take all three into consideration, synthesize the information to make it unique to you. And there are lots more horoscopes available right now on my YouTube channel, Nadiya_Shah, and on the Superstar space at thefutureismagical.com. Aries, home, the past, your living situation, and your family of origin. Now, I think a lot of Aries, there's going to be changes on the home front, especially if you've been looking to buy, sell, move, or attract a new roommate. The best laid plans, the thing that you thought was so sure, just might not be. And if it is that you are actually moving under this light, well, it may be the case that there's a larger sense of an adjustment than you realize at first, but that really is okay. Ultimately, this is about aligning you with a greater feeling and a greater sense of home, and that is part of the larger trend of the year ahead. Taurus, siblings, cousins, neighbors, overpromising, in some cases way overpromising, is possible now. And these are promises that maybe might not be able to be kept. So allow grace and be mindful of what you might be promising others, especially with these people. For all of that, though, the best negotiations, well, they just might not come through. And you really want to be careful of contracts right now. The written word might be seen in ways that is not accurate. And so pace yourself and be yourself. You know, I like to say that, but also trust what it is that you understand, even if it is that it needs to be clarified later. Gemini, money you earn, money you spend, self-love, self-esteem. So the larger one-year trend, of course, is greater prosperity than you've known before. But first, you might have to let go of certain opportunities, as might be the case now. Being overpromised on an opportunity to earn money is possible, or if you do get an opportunity, it just might not be what you thought it was. But for all that, you do also want to be mindful of spending. It's almost like what you spend money on, it ends up not being satisfying or the right thing. You'll have lots of positive energy once we get past August. But for now, pace yourself, be yourself. You know, I like to say that. And strive instead to direct this energy towards healthy self-love. You might not feel connected to it, but asking yourself questions might help you feel that much more grounded and that much more secure in what it is you demonstrate to yourself now. Cancer, identity, who you know yourself to be, what matters to you most and first. Well, in some cases, it might feel as if who you really are is not understood by someone else, where you feel that it actually matters. But it really isn't about anybody else. It's about you being okay with exactly who it is that you are, even if that definition is changing for you now. Whatever's nearest and dearest to your heart that you feel helps you to be truly you, well, that's what's in flux. That's what's uncertain, but that really is okay. The new moon does promise empowerment, and that's really the point. Understanding that you have the power to move your life in directions that feel a lot more true to you. Leo, closing karmic ties, ending karmic chapters, and knowing what it is that has served its purpose so that ultimately you can move forward towards all the things that you have yet to do in this lifetime, because you absolutely do have a lot more to do in this lifetime. And where you might have been expecting karmic blessings, they might not show up the way that you thought they would. They might not be satisfying, or it might instead be about karmic closures that feel kind of bittersweet or uncertain in some way. And it really is okay to feel whatever it is that you feel. Make sure you're taking the best of care of yourself at this time. You are setting the stage to take better advantage of next month's new moon in your sign and August full moon in your opposite sign. Very quickly, new chapters will appear. Virgo, friendships, group alliances, a friend or someone that you're connected to, perhaps through a professional group setting. Well, there might be disappointments there. There might be a sense that you had hoped one of them would open up greater opportunity to you, but it doesn't feel like that's happening in one way or another. So just pace yourself as you navigate this time. Be careful about over promising or believing promises from one of these people now with the best of intention. They might not be able to be kept. And yet it is a powerful time for you to nurture your own dreams and wishes for what you hope for in a larger sense for your life. Libra, career, bosses, life purpose, some career opportunity that you thought was a sure thing. Well, it just might not be, or it might be very different than you expected it to. Now, bosses in particular, or people in positions of authority, they can feel challenging at a time like this. They can feel as if they are placing unnecessary restrictions or they're bringing about disappointment. So just pace yourself as you navigate this time. But know that new opportunities, well, just take them with a grain of salt. There are going to be big, bold, beautiful opportunities, especially in the months ahead. But I think that this time is really about showing you what you actually want and maybe what it is that you don't. Scorpio, long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters. If you're involved in any of these things, well, it looks like there's a lot of hope and anticipation in these matters. And overall, there is a trend of blessings and opportunity there that's going to be with you for another year. But at least right now, well, there might be some disappointments. It might feel like your best efforts kind of wash away or there's misunderstandings of some kind. You'll be able to understand what you can actually do to empower yourself. But in the midst of it, well, it might feel challenging, nothing you can't overcome. And in the process, understand what you're really going for in a sense of how you understand and connect to a larger world around you. Sagittarius, profound truth, change, transformation, regeneration, and wealth. Some opportunity that you thought would be there, some loan or grant or benefits that you thought were a sure thing. Well, now there might be some question as to whether or not it actually is. A financial settlement might feel like it doesn't come together as you had hoped. But for all that, whatever it feels like isn't working out, it is creating space for greater wealth to find you in the fullness of time. Now, more personally, this might be a time when you're questioning a therapist or someone who might be there that you hope might help facilitate meaningful change in your life. The questions themselves are valuable, and it's up to you to decide whether or not their methods are what it is you actually need so that you can move towards the positive change you're hoping for. Capricorn, partnership of all kinds, including business, including love, and whether it is something of no big consequence, like maybe you have plans and they just don't come together right now, and that really is okay, or whether it's larger than that, facing some past deep disappointment, or it is with somebody you're with right now where it just feels as if it isn't working. Yeah, this might be a time that feels disillusioning in love, but it's also about giving you a fresh perspective as to what meaningful partnership is for you. And that's the first step towards experiencing more opportunities to have more of those more rewarding relationships. Aquarius, clients, customers, coworkers, and immediate supervisors. These people might be filled with mixed messages, but also don't hold people to promises too much and be careful about overpromising these people as well. But for all that, this part of the sky also has to do with your overall sense of well-being and your health. And this is an energy that says, look at where it is that you could actually be feeling a lot better. What changes might you want to make so that you can instead start aligning habits with longevity? A few small changes. First, by acknowledging what isn't working, well, the overall sense of health protection and the rewards will be there. Pisces, romance, flirtation, love, and living a life that you love. And so, while ordinarily this would be getting your flirt on, there's some hesitance here. There's some uncertainty here in doing that, or just even embracing things that normally are fun for you to do. They might end up feeling unsatisfying in some way. And a lot of this energy really comes down to seeing yourself differently and opening up on a heart level, acknowledging the barriers that might be there in your heart towards living a life that feels more fulfilling or moving towards love that feels more joyful as well. You need to first acknowledge what hasn't worked so that you can move towards more of what it is that your heart desires. Now, if you're involved in creative projects, well, it might feel like it's not coming together as you like, or it might fall through, but that's part of welcoming in better opportunities in the near future. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.